Good evening, everyone. This is Katrina from Let's Talk Kingdom with Katrina, and I am so glad that you guys are tuning in tonight. I am so excited about this fabulous woman that is going to be on with us tonight. She is the queen of feeling fabulous. I had the wonderful opportunity to be on her summit, Unstoppable Summit with Blissful Living for You. And she is just, oh my God, so much of a wealth of knowledge. So without further ado, I want to bring to my listening audience tonight, Miss Rochele Marie Lawson. And I'm going to read a little bit about her before we bring her on. And like I said, she is just a phenomenal woman. It says, who is Rochele Marie? The Queen of Feeling Fabulous. Known as the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, Rochele Marie Lawson is a successful business owner, registered nurse. She's a holistic health and wellness consultant. She's an international best-selling author. She has her own speaker and radio show. She's a host of that. And she's also the president of Blissful Living for You, which was founded to bring holistic wellness, wisdom, and wealth into the lives of individuals seeking a natural path to abundance, health, happiness, peace, prosperity, joy, success, and wealth. And how many of us want that in our lives? Oh my gosh. So we have got the wonderful opportunity to have this woman on. I've got so many questions that I want to ask her. We're going to go from her topics of the millionaire blueprint to she's got this wonderful detox blueprint out there for people. She knows how to talk to you about turning your passion into profit. So she is just a wealth of knowledge. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on our show, the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, Miss Rochele Marie Lawson. How are you, love?
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I feel like, woo. Is she talking about me?
Yes, we are talking about you, lady. I just want to let you know that, first of all, again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on the summit. It was just life-changing for me, and so many things have happened. And I even gleaned a lot from you as well, because I've been following you for a little bit before, I've reached out to you, and wanted to be a part of that. But you just have, oh my gosh, just so much wealth of information. So first of all, tell our audience about you.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for saying yes to being part of the Unstoppable Women Summit. First of all, you guys out there hearing us, looking at us, whatever, we just getting started. So stay tuned because Catrina Reese and the rest of us gals, we got some work to do, and y'all definitely gonna recognize us in 2021. But a little bit about myself. Let's see. I started my first business. So first of all, I'm a Silicon Valley girl. I was born at Stanford Hospital, raised in the Silicon Valley, grew up in various cities along in the Silicon Valley, so to speak, but claim as San Jose is my stomping ground, so to speak. So I'm a San Francisco Bay Area chick. I'm a Northern Cali girl. But I started my first business at the age of 22, which came about because I couldn't get a job as an electrical engineer in Silicon Valley in the late 80s when the Cold War was still going on, and Silicon Valley was producing all those products and mechanisms for all the defense stuff that was going on that's being built. Yeah, I couldn't get a job as an electrical engineer because I was a woman,
Wow.
African American, and I was flat out told that we would love to hire you. You did phenomenal, but you're going to be working with men around your father's age. And so until we can figure out how to make it work for everybody or for them, we'll call you. Well, never got the call. So I ended up starting that business kind of like I don't want to say out of a need to, as a necessity, but it just kind of fell into my lap. My husband was just diving into telecommunications, and he had got we got the electrical engineering degree together. And so it was just a new avenue. And our very first customers with that business were very large financial institutions that were global. And it just kind of fit. And so I took on the role of being the president before we incorporated, and he took on the role of managing all the projects. Fast forward, that business is going on 31 years old. It has been a top 50 woman-owned business in Silicon Valley for many consecutive years, and that business has allowed me to do a lot of things to help other women along the path, along the journey, to step into being fierce, fearless, and unstoppable. So I have to give props to that, because like I said, I just fell into it. And the reason why I say that was because I had got turned down by so many companies in Silicon Valley, and I'm calling them out: Hewlett Packard, Intel, IBM, FMC, the Federal Defense Contractor, Fairchild Electronics, Raytheon. I'm calling them all out. But in the 80s, there was no such thing as sexual discrimination or sexual harassment. So you just kind of rolled and did what you needed to do, right? Yeah. So because I had gotten turned down so many times, I went back to school and became a registered nurse. And it just so happens, I say God works in mysterious ways. So it just so happens that when I finished nursing school, the business that we started just took off. And so I was like, I just finished nursing school. I love nursing. I figured out, that's my passion. I had my own health and wellness journey. So it was just like, but yet and still I was, dealing with this very new business that was starting to be very successful. So what do you do? So being me, the chick I am, I did my registered nursing stuff, and I was an emergency room trauma nurse. So the 5, 10, whatever, multiple gunshot wounds was coming into me. So I did that at night, because it was like stroking my feminine side. And then I ran the telecom business during the day, which was stroking my male side. And eventually what happened was I was able to just do both in a very complementary way, keep my skills up in my emergency room, not nursing and trauma, and take that education to another level, and then continue doing my business and taking my business to be a top 50 women-owned business, and having kids, and
Wow.
Yeah.
And to me, that is what you call an unstoppable woman, that regardless of what you put your mind to, you're just going to do it. And I know there are going to be a lot of women out there that are going to say, oh, I can't do all of that. I don't have the passion. I don't have the drive. But you can if you really, really, really want to do what has been destined for your hands to do. Now, I want you to talk about the 16 principles that you use to be fierce, fearless, and unstoppable. Please share those with us.
Okay. So along this journey, right, this journey that I just shared with you about my businesses and stuff, I had to learn how to be fierce, fearless, unstoppable. I was always that way because I'm the only girl in my whole entire family. So all my cousins are boys. So as a girl, you learn growing up when I did, we played outside. You learn to be fierce, you learn to be fearless, and you learn to fake it too at times. Otherwise, be playing by yourself, right? And so what I discovered as I was going through my journey with, becoming a business owner and, be doing my nursing and becoming successful in both arenas was things that I learned actually when I was a kid. Wow. And so I began to put some of those principles and concepts into a strategic kind of order. And lo and behold, they came to be my 16 principles. So the first one, the one I like to share with everyone to start with is whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, whether you are in a fearful situation, whether you're not in a fearful situation and you just want to elevate stuff, wherever you are in life and on your path, like I say, as you travel down your path to bliss, whatever it is you want to do, you can accomplish. That's the first thing I want to share. It's what we put in our head. It's our self-talk and the negative self-talk that prevents us from moving forward. How many times Um, how many times did, back in the day when we used to get spankings, when kids used to get spankings, how many times if your parent just threatened you, when we get home, I'm gonna tan your hide, right? You
Yeah.
straighten up. It was just the fear, you know what I'm saying? It was just the fear of that. Well, as we grow into adulthood, we still harness some of that energy, even though the manifestation of what we're being afraid to do is not real. It's just
Yeah.
perceived, right?
Yeah.
So what I learned was you have to, no matter if it's just learning how to drive a car or starting your first business or deciding to start your first business or whatever it is, going back to school, whatever it is, you have to start with imagination. You
Mm.
have to imagine what it would be like. Say for me, I'm going to just use a scenario. Imagine what it would be like to be a nurse, to take care of people, to see what you're doing in the face of people, that you're actually making them feel better, even if it's just for a moment in time. What would that feel like? What would I have on when I was a nurse? What kind of clothes would I be wearing? What kind of money would I be making? What kind of car would I be driving? Where would I be working? And this is before I even became like an emergency room nurse. What facility? Back then it was hospitals. Now it's healthcare corporations. But where would I be working? What part in the hospital would I be working? What would that look like? You have to imagine it. Just imagine just as much as you can. And we lose that when we become adults, because as kids we always imagine and stuff.
Mm.
But as you grow up and go through, puberty and preteen and teen, oh lordy, that's a mess, and then young adulthood, and you go out and get in life, you forget about just the beauty of being able to sit there in bed before you go to sleep and imagine if I kissed so and so or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's the imagination. And then you have to take it a step further, which is number two, and that is visualization. You have to visualize. So people say, well, imagination and visualization is the same thing. And no, it's not. Visualization is when you begin to add specific detail to whatever it is you're imagining, whatever it is you're dreaming, you're wishing, you're imagining. You begin to add specific detail for that. So for instance, when I had joined an organization at that time. It's NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners. Had no idea. I just was joining it, to try to help my business become more client-based with Silicon Valley clients, because all my clients were in San Francisco and East Bay, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to the very first event, and it was an awards event. And these women were getting recognized in Silicon Valley for it was called the Enterprising Woman Award, and all these women. And so I imagined, like, God, what would it feel like for me to be up there? After that event, I went back and imagined what it would be for me to be up on the podium. And then I added details to that, how the podium would be, where the mic was, what kind of, did I have on, a black suit, a red suit? How was I dressed? What kind of pumps did I have on? How was my hair? What color was it? All of that. How many people were out in the audience? Seeing my name back on the big billboard saying I was whatever, an enterprising woman at that time. The color of the letters, enterprising woman, the way my award looked, all of that. I was just visualizing that kind of on my drive home. A few years later, not only was I a recipient, and the Enterprising Woman became the top 50 women-owned businesses in Silicon Valley, and I was on a list with a lady, number one, who had a 800 at that time, a $859 billion company in Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was on stage with these women getting this award just a few short years later. And it was, and the amazing thing was, what blew my mind was, after the event, I started, you start settling down a bit. It was like I had on the suit I visualized myself wearing. I was at the mic on the podium. The way I had my name in the marquee, or the letters for the top 50, was the colors. The people, the event was held at the hotel. That it was a Fairmont in San Jose. It was held, it was a trip. The car I was driving was a car I drove up in. It was really a trip. And so again, it just gave me more credibility and more wisdom with regards to these steps. So imagination, visualization. Then you have to intend for things to happen. And people get caught up on intent and intend. And intent is a noun, it's something you state. But when you intend to do something, it becomes an action verb, right? So you intend to do, you know, you have this vision, you have this imagination, you have this vision, now you intend to make the vision real. You set out to do this. You put it in your heart and soul and you set out to do it. And then you focus on it. You become laser sharp with your focus. And the funny thing is when you get to step number 4, which is focus, you will start seeing opportunities appear in your life that are in alignment with what you've imagined, visualized, and intended. It's a trip. It will blow your mind. And some of them are small. Can you relate to this? Some of them are small, and some of them are like, isn't that a trip? It's a trip. It's a trip. And when you think about when these opportunities start coming in, when you start backtracking of, you know, I intended this, I visualize this, I imagine this, it will blow. You guys, I know I sounded like I'm way out there, but this is for real. It will blow your mind. Because you see, in order for us to be able to do anything that we want to do, we have to be able to believe that we can do it, which everybody says that. But the point about that is, you got to take it deeper, is when you can imagine, visualize, intend, and focus on it, it becomes more of a reality. And here's another thing, when you begin to write this down, it goes from space to something tangible that you can pick up and look up at every day. And that is an intended action that will put you in alignment again for more of these opportunities to flow into your life, because you've written it down. And now when you see them on your paper and it becomes real. And it's the domino effect.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just want to, I'm going to interject really quick and I'm going to let you get back to that. When, as you were talking, that just made me think about, you know, because, I'm licensed and ordained minister, of course, everything always comes back to a spiritual thing. But it made me think about the scripture where it talks about speak those things that be not as though they were. And our minds are so powerful that everything starts here. Like you said, it starts in the eyes, it starts in the mind, and just writing it down to see how it's supposed to be, because then that puts it into the atmosphere, and then that's how it begins to come to you as that manifestation. Oh my gosh. Go ahead, keep going.
I mean, you're right. You're so right. And here's the thing about writing it. I mean, I know this stuff sounds so simplex and it's like, yeah, right. But the thing about writing it, again, is it takes it from the ethers and brings it into reality in something you can see and you can hold, and it becomes more real. Like, I'm just going to say, I had a vision that the other day, I actually, this is on my vision board, but I was driving to the gym and saw myself in this red Range Rover with a black top and some black rims and black seats, and and I was just like, okay, in my head, imagine it, visualize the detail, I'm down to the rims, I'm down to the color of the brake pad, everything, right? Okay. So I came home and wrote it down on this piece of paper. So now it's going from here to here. And even though it's on my vision board and I've been looking at it, and now it's even a little bit more real, because I'm claiming I intend to have, and this is the funny thing, I intend to have a new Range Rover, this color with these amenities, feeling the feel of the seat that is paid for when I buy it. Okay. So I'm putting it real big out there. But, so watch now. I'm going to have these opportunities start flowing into my life because I've done these 4 steps, just those 4 steps. I ain't even got to the 16th one. The next thing I want to share is after you've become focused, and again, writing, it helps you to become focused, but it helps you to become laser focused. And when you become laser focused, again, you start seeing more and more opportunities, as they say, coincidences, but there are no coincidences. If you
Yeah.
believe in the scripture, there are no coincidences. Everything happens in our life is meant to happen, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Everything is
Exactly.
happening in our life to teach us a lesson as we travel down our path to bliss, right? So you start seeing more opportunities, and your energy around you will change, and it will begin to manifest and magnetize like things, like a magnet. You know, a magnet attracts other things that it magnetizes. And so that's what will begin to happen. You'll have this energy around you that becomes magnetic to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Whatever, and it could be anything. It could, don't even have to be a business. It could just be having a relationship with your children or your mother, your father, or whoever, having, you know, a better trajectory on your career path, whatever it is. It's, you can apply this information that I'm sharing with you to any aspect of your life, any
Yes.
aspect. I'm
Yes.
just sharing the steps with you. The steps don't change. It's like they say, the game don't change and the rules of the game don't change. It's just how we apply them and how we learn to apply them for these different areas of our life. So magnetize, you begin to magnetize. You know, when you have a magnet and you put it up against metal, it'll start attracting the metal
Yes.
that it's meant to attract, right? So guess what the
Exactly.
next step is? You're now magnetizing in this magnetized energy that, you know, we can help clean up or whatever, but you're in this magnetized energy. Now you start attracting like situations. You start attracting like minded people that can help you propel down your path, whatever that
Yeah.
may be. You start attracting like minded experiences. You start attracting actual bits and pieces of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. They start showing up in your life. So you have, after focus, you have the opportunities, these opportunities will come in. But in the attraction step, they are really more specific opportunities in alignment with what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
The one thing that I just really does a disheartening when it comes to the law of attraction is the law of attraction is many laws combined in together. It's not one thing. And in the movie The Secret, as beautiful as it was and as inspiring as it was a big lie, because everybody in The Secret made it seem like you just had to think about, girl, I want the 5-bedroom house, 17 acres with a lake in the back and a long driveway, and it paid for it. I just want it, and it's just gonna happen. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. There are many components to the law of attraction. And unfortunately, I know several of those people that were in The Secret movie. I've had the privilege of meeting them and having conversations with them, and they will all agree with me. It's many concepts, but in the big umbrella, it's under the law of attraction. But there's many things that go into that. So you attract, and then after you attract something, you know, it's like attracting your boo.
Yeah.
You attracted your boo, and now you've manifested into this relationship with your boo. Okay, so step number 7 is manifestation. Now, to take it further, you have to keep going forward. So number 8 would be you manifested whatever it is. Now what? Action. You have to continue to take action. You have to
Yes.
continue to take action. Okay, so that's number 8. Number 9 is we have this. I'm sorry, let me take a quick. We have this tendency as we go down our path to bliss, that the more successful we get, we either tend to isolate ourselves, or we tend to get with people that are really not in alignment with where we should be.
Ooh, oh my gosh. Now that one right there, we could talk about that all day long. But go ahead, keep going.
So step number 9 is you got to take a look at, you know, those that are in your circle, and you actually have to choose people that you want in your inner circle. Now, when I say, so step number 9 is choosing or creating your inner circle. And it's different from another step that I'm going to talk about a little later, but your inner circle, it equates to, I'm going to use my daughter as an example. Like,
Okay.
she has a ton of girlfriends, and there's a lot of women that have a ton of girlfriends, right? And even though you have a ton of them, there's like really 4 or 5 of them that are really the girls. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
could have 20 of them, but there's 4 or 5 of them that are really your girls. That's your inner circle. Or, dudes out there, dudes, not a lot of dudes, but there's probably 3, 4, 5 of them that you'll see them rolling with all the time. Those are the go-to. That's the inner circle. Your inner circle are the people that are going to keep it real with you, don't really care about hurting your feelings, okay? Have your best interest at their heart.
Yes.
Are your ride or dies,
Mm.
okay? And not necessarily involved in your business, but involved in the business of you living the best life that you're meant to live. So you have to create your inner circle. Now, what also is a part of this process, which is really the hard part, and people get stuck and they stop right here, is you got to let go of some folks. Because everybody you think that's in your inner circle is not in your inner circle. And everybody that you think is for you is really working against you outside the scope of what you can see.
Yeah.
And so that's the hard part. And I would say that creating your inner circle is a very, very hard part, because it forces you to really take a look at basically those who you roll with.
Yeah.
Okay. It really does force you to take a look at those who you roll with. Now, the step number 10 is really, really, I want to say it's really what I like to call the transformation. It's the transformation, because now, as you've gone through the first 9 steps, you're going to be in a way different place than you were when you first started.
Yeah.
And so what happens in step 10 is the complete transformation into, one, being confident with where you are and what you're doing and who you're rolling with and everything in the first 9 steps, being confident with it, accepting that you're innovative, accepting that it's okay for you to be successful doing whatever it is that you are doing, and accepting the fact that you have a purpose, or you have purposes in life, and owning and claiming those things. I know it sounds easy, but again, it's a transformative process. And what I like to share with people is, when you get to this stage, is this is where you really want to have some time to yourself. And I like to recommend, or for my clients, like, we do a retreat, and one of the days or some of the hours during the retreat, we go through this transformation exercise, which helps individuals to see where they were, what their journey has been, and where they are today, so that they can step into doing the next step.
Wow.
Which
I
is
love
leading
that.
by
Yeah.
design.
Now, is that number 11?
It's leading by design, yes. Leading by design.
Gotcha.
And so leading by design is you've gone through this whole 10-step process, and you're really doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to keep the energy flowing, in order to keep the essence, or I want to say the fuel that is propelling you forward on your journey, so to speak, you have to lead. And I don't necessarily mean step into a big leadership role, but you have to lead, whether you're leading in your company, your home environment, your work environment. You have to take a leadership role and own into it. And taking a leadership role involves a couple of things. It involves, first of all, again, stepping in and claiming your confidence.
Yeah.
Stepping in and claiming your confidence. And you can be confident without being cocky and arrogant. There's a
Yes.
difference. You can
Yes.
be confident without being cocky and arrogant, because confidence is you just know you and you know what you're capable of. Cocky and arrogance is you have to brag about it, or you just have this air you highness about you, right? That everybody is falls beneath you. That's not it. So you have to lead by design, and you have to lead with confidence. The next thing is you gotta grab another sister or brother and bring them up with you. I
Yes.
think it was Jay-Z that said, if all your homies ain't flying in first class with you or on that private plane with you, what good is it, right? People that you
Yes.
surround yourself with, or people that you bring up through the ranks as in your leader, and when you step into leading by design, um, actually it is the part of the inspiring part, the inspiration that fuels you to continue your trajectory down your path to bliss. And it inspires the person that you're bringing up with you because they are looking up to you as a leader.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So leading by
Yes.
design. I'm sorry, I'm having a hot flash.
Look,
I'm
look, I
sorry.
turned the air conditioner on before I started the show tonight, so I'm good tonight. Normally I'm in
I
here like, but
know.
I turned my air conditioner on because I already knew.
I thought I was gonna be good, but oh well. I think it's just because you know what, I'm really passionate about this,
Yeah.
and anyways, I'm really passionate about it. So leading by design is number 11. Number 12 is stepping forward within stepping forward with intent and purpose,
Okay.
which is different than step number 4 or step number 3, intending. This is stepping forward with intent and purpose. So you've gone through this whole transformation, step 10, 11, you're now leading by design. And
Mm-hmm.
basically this stepping forward with intent and purpose is just the elevation of what you've been working towards all this time. And again, all of these things I'm sharing with you can apply to any aspect of your life. I just happen to be using business, but maybe I can give some examples with, maybe relationship or career.
Mm.
Business and career is kind of similar, but with relationship, stepping forward with intent and purpose. So, example, had a friend who was, when kids get to be teenagers, as parents don't know nothing. We ain't lived no life. We ain't
Mm-hmm.
done nothing, right? We don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Everything has changed. And so I had a friend who was having some issues with her 3 teenage boys, 15, 16, 17. And the relationship was really getting sour. Now she's a single mom and she did rule with an iron fist, but at 17, your iron fist don't have as much impact on them as it did when they were, 8, 9, and 10, so to speak, or 10,
Exactly.
11, 12,
Exactly.
right? They
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
themselves and you feeling disrespected as a mom. And so she actually took these steps and went through all of it. She set something up that she wanted to accomplish with her boys, and she went through all of this. And when she got to this, stepping forward with an intent and purpose, she was like, "Well, I thought I did this already." I said no. I said because you've gotten to a point where your relationship with boys has begun to transform. You're leading by design. You're taking the boys and you're actually engaging them and embracing them and showing them what it is to be you. Sometimes you have to give people a vision, a bird's eye view, or a view of what life is from your eyes so that they can get a better understanding. Just like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to get a vision of what life is from the eyes of others so you
Yes.
can get a better understanding, because we
Yeah.
can become so judgmental, and when we become judgmental we put up these roadblocks that prevent us from moving forward, as we can see is what's happening today in the world. But Okay, but but so anyways, so she got to this part, and she said, well, what should I do? And I said, well, what would you what would you like to intend? What is an intention you would like to set?
Mm.
And she says, well, the intention is I would love to be able to take the boys on a trip to Jamaica, and us just have a really um, wholesome, hearty, loving, peaceful, happy, joyful time on our vacation without any, without any negative stuff. And I said, okay, well, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So she set the intent. She stepped forward with purpose, and her purpose was to tell the boys that she was going to take them on a trip, and that they would only be able to spend time with her, and there was going to be no cell phones, for a certain part of the time that they're together during the day.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't tell them where the trip was going to be. And they he and ha and hemmed about it. But eventually, she went over. Particularly the hardest one was not the 17-year-old, it was the 15-year-old, right? And
Wow.
so it's like, boy, you 15, you do what I tell you to do. But he was bucking. He was really bucking. His little testosterone was really going through the roof. So she took this step. She set the intention. She led with purpose. Her purpose was not to tell them they were going on this trip to Jamaica, because of course, it would have been a trip they would want to go on, but it would have been not coming from an authentic place of
Yeah.
them really wanting to be with their mom. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when day came, the boys they were all right. I think she told them that they were going to some dude ranch or something. They were going to be learning how to do cattle and something like that. I think she told them. So they were like, all right. Well, they went on this fabulous trip to Jamaica. And when they got back, I couldn't wait to hear. I'm like, what happened? How was it? And they had the most amazing time. The most amazing time. And what happened was all the strife, all the trouble, all the miscommunication, bad communication, all the negative energy, all the boys making poor choices and would want them hanging out with. Um, it transformed. It manifested into this beautiful, loving relationship with this mom and her three boys. And so to fast forward, two of the boys, the two older ones, are in the military, and they are serving our country, and they're doing very, very well. And that young one, who was so tenacious and I don't want to say rebellious,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely had his way about things and his opinion about everything. That young one is playing in the National Football League as a starting cornerback, and is making some pretty darn good money. And I guess what he did was learn to take that tenacity that that testosterone and applied it appropriately, and he's doing real well. He's been in the NFL for quite a while now, but he's doing really
Wow.
well. And so she says that even though she went through everything, she says it was the step number 12, intent and lead in intent with purpose, that
Mm-hmm.
really was pivotal for her, because after that everything else just flowed real easily. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
So number 13.
Okay.
Number 13 is a goodie. And this one is we talked about the inner circle. This one is about a mastermind. And so it really again applies to every area of life. Again, I just tend to use it for more business, but I share with you an experience and just personal stuff. But a mastermind, and you can create a mastermind with regards to if you want to have better relationships with your family or whatever, if you want to have a better career trajectory or profession, if
Mm-hmm.
you want to start a business, turn your passion into profit, if you want to elevate your business, whatever it is. Because the good old boys back in the day, Henry Ford and John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie and the Mellons and every one of those, the Rockefellers, all of them, they were in these masterminds. And even though some of them had competing businesses,
Mm-hmm.
they set up to basically pick each other's brain on how to make each and every one of their businesses excel and make gazoodles money. Their focus was elevating their business, right? And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, oh, not sometimes, a lot of times you can't see the stuff that's obvious to other people. So having
Yeah.
a mastermind that's focused on, say, for instance, an ask business
Mm-hmm.
that's focused on you helping to you bring it to them, and you get these however many people in your mastermind. I like to say 12 is a good number,
Mm-hmm.
total, 12 total. But you get 11 valued people with you to help you see what you can't see, to accomplish what you want to accomplish, whatever it is that you want to do. That helped me in aspect when I talk about when I became one of the top 50 women-owned business owners, but I actually became a board member of the National Association of Women Business Owners for Silicon Valley. I was a marketing director and then president-elect. And my focus was on diversity and bringing diversity to, and there was no diversity in the organization. I was
Mm-hmm.
the diversity. So my
Wow.
focus was on that. Uh, but um, but then I became president, past president, sat on that board for 8 years. The
Mm-hmm.
thing about that is those ladies, some of those ladies that I met, we formed a mastermind. And at that time, it was only, I think, 8 of us, but we formed this mastermind. And each one of us had a goal of getting up, another level higher on this top 50 women business only. It was a vision, but also to help all of us some things, challenges with business, because we were actually going into when the dot-com, do you guys remember the dot-com bust? The
Yes.
dot-com bust was, yeah, remember that? Okay.
Yes.
We were all into that. And here I am, a telecom installation company. I'm wiring all these dot-coms in these buildings in Silicon Valley in Northern California. I'm going to say the Western region for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
My guys are doing this. And you mean this market is about to drop? I'm wiring businesses knowing that, money. Anyways, we formed this mastermind, and what happened was we were able to be transparent with each other. No one took
Mm-hmm.
any hard feelings, because we knew that the whole purpose was for all of us to elevate our businesses, and we all did. We each would go up another number, or at least add another zero to the bottom line, so to speak,
Yeah.
with our
Yeah.
businesses. And it was because we were doing things that we couldn't see. So mastermind, whatever it is, the greatest, most successful people in the world they are in a mastermind.
Wow.
Oprah is in a mastermind. Bill Gates is in the same mastermind I know of, and I got this download secret scoop. I don't know if it's secret, but they're in the same mastermind. So the people in the film industry, they're in a mastermind. That's how projects get collaborated, how a production company a studio decides to go with this production company. It's not always about the bottom line or all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's cohesiveness in a business atmosphere, in a relationship atmosphere, to achieve the goals that's beneficial to all of those involved. So I'm gonna hit
Yeah.
home.
That
Okay.
collaboration
Okay.
is so important.
It's very, very important. And so number 14
Okay.
number 14 is, you've come all this way, and you need to protect everything, everything that you have. So you need to have an advisory. You need to set up an advisory system. Whether if it's a relationship issue, an advisory system would be maybe like a counselor or someone you can talk to. If it's a business, an advisory system would be like an attorney, your accountant, your bookkeeper, a
Mm-hmm.
financial planner, somebody looking a real estate expert, consultant, broker, salesperson, agent, mortgage broker. You want to have people on your team that are going to help protect all that you work for, whether it's business, career wise, or personal.
Yeah.
And again, an attorney can fall in all of that. Okay. I'm not advocating you get an attorney, but I'm saying you need an attorney. If you don't have one that you could just go to for whatever, you need to incorporate that. So that's number 14. You need to set up an advisory board, a committee, system, something that works for you with regards to you making sure that you protect all that you've worked to manifest and bring into reality, and into fruition. Number 15.
All
Number
right now.
15 is you okay. You need to celebrate. You need to celebrate. And you're probably like, why isn't number 15 not the last thing? But number 15 is you got to celebrate every single advancement, acceleration, occurrence, everything that happens that you set out to do when you were at step one that occurs, no matter how small it is, you have to celebrate. The reason why is the celebration, again, remember we talked about the energy of the that magnetizing, right?
Yes.
Celebrating actually brightens that magnetic energy that you've created around you. The brighter that energy is, the more golden white lightish it is, the more that you will magnetize, attract, and manifest that which you seek and desire. So celebration is very important. And I can't put it last, because if you put it last, then it means you stop. No, you don't.
I like that.
Celebration is a continuation of the energy in all the manifestations that are happening in your life. Go back to the lady that had the 3 boys. I told her every time, and you work through these steps, you're continually working through these steps. But I told her every time you get a yes, a confirmation from the boys about something that they would have said no, that's a sign. Girl, go celebrate. Even if you just have to go take a bubble bath, or go for a drive and turn up the music, or go to your bedroom and whatever, dance, whatever. Celebrate, because that keeps that magnetic, it makes it even more brighter, and it expands. It begins to expand further out, so that things that may have been way, way out are not so far from your energy, and they get, guess what? They get it much more quicker. So celebration is number 15. And then number 16 is, what you think?
I
Number
would, I would,
16.
I would think that number
Yeah.
16 would probably be maybe just going back and looking if something needed to be tweaked out of starting from 1 to maybe 14, maybe. I don't know. You always want to go back and look and see what's working. Is it still working? Are there some things that maybe need to be changed? I could be wrong.
So, no, and yeah. So number 16 is basically doing it all over again.
Yeah,
So
okay, all right.
okay. So when we start out, everybody has more than one thing that they want to accomplish. If you looking for a mate, you want to accomplish, you want to, first of all, meet some nice people. Okay. You meet some nice, dudes or ladies or whatever, but meet some nice people. Then you want to establish a relationship, and these things. You're just going down the steps, and at each point, at every aspect of the step, you're going to stop and reflect. You'll get to a point where you're going to course correct. But here's the thing: I don't want you to focus on that too much.
Okay.
I don't want you, because what you'll start doing is you'll start going back and changing stuff, and that actually messes up the energetic flow for things to flow into your life. Trust me, I've done it. I'm sometimes one of these people that will put stuff out there and then get to step 8 and be like, oh dang, don't seem to be working like I visualize it to be. You know what I mean? Because I'm just, and so then I will start overanalyzing and messing with stuff and jacking it up. And then I have to go all the way back to step 1. And I don't want to say all the way back, but I go back to step 1 and take that and realize that don't just let it play through. Because these are things that we're divinely guided to do. These are things that are divinely meant to happen in our life. When we start analyzing too much, We mess things up. You know, in
Yeah.
school, when you have you ever heard that saying, like when you were taking a test, always select the first answer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first
Mm-hmm.
answer that pops in your head, choose that
Exactly.
one. And
Yes.
then how many times did you would take the test and you choose that first answer and then you go back and erase it and choose something else because maybe something else you saw later on the test,
Mm.
and then realize that you should have left it alone because the first answer was actually correct? That's it. That's what
Wow.
happened.
I
It's
love it.
because you start analyzing, you start over analyzing because now you're out of the space
Uh-huh.
and
That's my
you're
husband.
into,
Oh, she's
hey,
like, what she said? Who was that?
She said, hey.
How you
hey,
doing?
We're,
I can't. Cause she,
we're
all
hey.
right, okay, all right.
I love it.
oh,
But what was I saying? So you know, you actually mess up the flow. You mess
yeah.
up the energy. It's almost like, oh, I'm trying to think. Like when you have something plugged. Oh, here's a good one because I just was using this yesterday. So you know, in the crock pot, when you put something in the crock pot and you're cooking, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
keeping these real.
Yeah,
You
I
put
love
something in the
it.
crock pot and you know, once you put stuff in the crock pot and you put that top on, you said it, you're not supposed to open up the
Yes.
top, right?
Yeah.
Because it takes away the heat and all of that. And the saying is it takes the crock pot 30 minutes to get back up to that temperature again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once,
Mm-hmm.
even if you open it for a second, it takes it 30 minutes. This is the same thing. You have your whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you want to accomplish, you're going down these steps, you start get to a point, you say you get to step number 9 and you want to open up the lid where you're analyzing, did
Ooh.
I put enough seasoning in this? Did you know, let me you okay? You just broke that cycle of energy.
Mm.
So as you proceed down the energy, as you go through the steps, the energy becomes is broken. So it's almost like there's got to be a little bit of time for the reconnection to occur if it ever occurs at the capacity that it was before you broke that energetic connection.
Oh, I
So that's
love
why I'm saying
that.
just go through the steps
Yeah.
and don't analyze anything. And the best thing, you guys, is to keep a journal with this stuff and just document it. I'm a person, I like to write a lot, I like to read a lot, and it's amazing because I have I'm sorry, a diary. My mama used to always try to find my diary, and I was always trying to hide it. And when I went off to college, she found a bunch of them, and she was like, "Oh my God!" I said, "See, you shouldn't even read my stuff." But the funny thing is, I've always been that type of person to document stuff, like, you know, special situation, you know, like
Mm.
my kid, when you have a kid, you know, just I've always been that type of person. The but the amazing thing is I can pull out something, and or I even do that when I read books, something that's just jumps out to me. I in the margin, I'll write the date, I'll underline what it is, and I'll write the date. Like I did that in my Bible,
Mm.
and then go or highlight it, the yellow highlighter, right? And go back and might read the same thing again, but something else jumps out at me because that's the message I'm supposed to hear at that moment in time. I may have read the same
Yes.
page 100 times, and 100 different things jump out at me each and every time because that is where I'm in a different space each and every time I read it.
That's right.
So it's the same thing, you know. So don't break the cycle, don't break that energy. Just let it flow, play with it, but document, you know, document the processes, document the stuff. You will be surprised at how far you come. And the other thing is, when you look at how far you came and what you accomplished, it fuels you to do the next thing. And that's why step number 16 is like a rinse and repeat. Go ahead and do it again with another whatever it is you want to accomplish. Because once you read, you will see you will see your whole process of utilizing these principles to be fierce, fearless, and unstoppable. And the reason why they help us to be fierce, fearless, and unstoppable is because during the whole process, we're giving ourselves love, we're feeding ourselves positive energy. You know, there's nothing negative in any of that. What
Yes.
is in here? We It gives us the ability to control what's in here just for a little bit. You know, the only thing we ever have control over is our thoughts. But how many times are we out of control
Yes.
with our thoughts, right? So just doing the
Yes.
stuff helps us to control this, and seeing it when you document it, helps you to realize that no matter what, even if you just went through steps 1 through 4, you're successful because you got through steps 1 through 4, which will fuel you to go through 5 through 8 or whatever, you know. So it's just beautiful, and it gives you something to fall back on when you feel that you're in despair, you're alone, you're by yourself, you're isolated. There were so many times when I was in my early 20s, being one of the first woman-owned businesses in the telecommunications installation arena, that I felt totally alone because I was in a male-dominated industry. And the men weren't my color, and they also told me that they wasn't gonna let me play in their world and be successful. And I'm happy to say that I'm still here playing. And a lot of them are no longer playing anymore. So, but there was times I felt alone and isolated, and it was just this stuff that I'm doing, that I'm sharing with you, that helped me to feel good about myself, to feel confident, to know that I'm innovative, I'm creative, I'm intelligent, I'm successful. I am a perseverer. Even if somebody else was talking that yakety yak stuff outside here, I knew within myself, because of my continual process of utilizing these steps, that I was gonna do whatever I needed to do. And at the end of the 16th step, however it was how it was meant to be.
I
That's
love
pretty much
it.
it.
Oh my God. I've written down so many notes. And it's almost like some of the stuff that it looks like I've incorporated, but maybe they weren't in that exact order.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I look back and I'm like, you know what? I see why this may not have, manifested or succeeded, was because maybe I had it in the wrong order. So you know what? I'm really going to go back and look at some things that I thought was dead, and start applying these principles and see what happens. So I'll let you know.
Let me know. Please do, because I love hearing, and like the really very first time, not only with regards to stepping outside my business, I applied this to my health and well-being, because I had a 17-year I had a medical condition that went undiagnosed for 17 years, and it was a digestive issue, and it was very, very serious. And I utilized these steps to get myself and actually heal myself. I'm gonna say God gave it to me, gave me the steps, and I utilized and I healed myself holistically without any medication, surgery, or anything, after suffering for 17 years.
Oh my
So,
gosh, that's
and
a
you can
powerful
apply it to
testimony.
any. That's what I'm saying. You can apply it to any area of your life. And if you need help, I'm always here.
I love it. I
Katrina,
love
I
it.
almost called you Doctor Girl. Katrina.
So guys, I want to tell you something. So when we were, the first time you did our test Zoom thing, when we were trying to get to for the summit. So Rochele kept calling me doctor. She kept calling me doctor. Now, some of you know and some of you don't. I am going back to school the first of the year, but I'm not going back for my doctorate. So I kept saying, Lord, does she see something that I don't see? So you never know, guys. One day I might, pop up and I might be Dr. Catrina Reese. You just never know. But Rochele, thank you so much. Now let me, I want to ask, how can people get in contact with you?
Oh my gosh, I'm everywhere. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Rochele Lawson, and it's going to be spelled Rochele and then Lawson. Or you can Google me, Rochele Lawson. I'll pop up. You can Google the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. I'll pop up. You can go to my site, my business website, blissful living, the number 4 and the letter U.com. Not my telecom company. It's my whole other business that I've had very successful for 10 years as well. But you can go there and you can get so many freebies and goodies to help you to really step into elevating your wellness, wisdom, and wealth, step into really making your dream life a reality. And if you want to have a chat with me, feel free to send me an email. Through my website, there's a contact form. Send me an email or message me on social media, and I will definitely get in contact with you.
She will, guys. She is a woman of her word. So before we close out, we've got about 2, 3 more minutes. What would be a nugget of gold that you would share with someone tonight, whether they're male, female, getting ready to start a business, getting ready to write their first book, getting ready to launch, possibly something like you've done. Give them, just share one a nugget of gold for our audience tonight before we close out.
I would love to. So the nugget of gold that I want to share with you is that nothing in life is too great for you to accomplish when you believe in yourself, when you connect with God, and when you ask for divine guidance and wisdom to be bestowed upon you. It will show up in your life in miraculous ways, and that which you are seeking to accomplish will become reality. No doubt. No doubt.
Well, you are a living testimony, definitely, of what it means to be unstoppable. We all have had ups and downs. We all have had things that have happened in our lives. But Rochele, you are definitely the Queen of Fabulous, and
Thank you.
you are definitely setting the example for us all. And I just want to thank you so much. So, are you guys preparing for your summit, even with COVID that's going on? Kind of tell our listening audience what upcoming events you may have.
Okay, so we had the Unstoppable Woman Summit, Turning Passion into Purpose, scheduled for many cities throughout the United States, but the coronavirus had a different agenda for us. So instead of these live events for 2020, we got to keep it safe for everyone. We're doing virtual. So my fabulous Catrina Reese is going to be a speaker at our Washington, D.C. event that's going to be live. I'm going to pray is going to happen in 2021. So right now, what we have going on is just preparation for getting things situated for the live events in 2021. Although it looks like COVID is going to hamper us a little bit. And we may have to push things out a little bit, but getting ready for that. There will be another virtual summit happening in February of 2021. Also, Catrina Reese has been interviewed on the Blissful Living show, so you could definitely, I highly suggest you check out the show, scroll to find Catrina Reese and listen to her interview. It was an amazing interview with regards to being fierce, fearless, and unstoppable. I'm gonna be doing a series of webinars behind being fierce, fearless, and unstoppable. So you may be just another person, and they're just gonna be short, sweet, cute, but just here's the thing: we need women to unite. We need to empower. We need to connect. We need to inspire. We need to motivate each other. We need to strengthen and we did it with electing our first African-American East Indian vice president. And I don't care what your political affiliation is. As a woman, you got to be proud just because another woman is holding that position, right?
Yeah.
Now, because of that, I say the time is right. There's so many women that feel this energy. We need to connect because we're going to be the change agents for the world to make the world a better place. We're starting here in the United States and we're going to take this worldwide. So if you're ready to get on the Unstoppable Woman Summit train, so to speak, you better join me and Catrina Reese because we going places and we would love for you to be with us. We don't want to leave anybody behind. It's all about leading with design, and we want to lead as many women, I don't want to say into the promised land, but we want you the pastor, but we want to lead as many women with us to unite so that we can change the world and make it a better place. And look, I'm dropping the mic.
Look, okay, look, she done prophesied again tonight. She done called me a doctor. She done called me a pastor. Lord Jesus, what you doing, Father? Oh, Lord, show me first. But, oh, my God. Rochele, thank you so much.
Maybe that's you're gonna become a doctor of ministry. Maybe that's it.
Hey, you know what? I receive it. I receive that. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Again, I'll be listing Rochelle's website on that page, so you can definitely go and check her out, see what she's got going on. She's got so much information. She's got a detoxation thing coming out also, so you definitely got to go out there because, you know, we're trying to get, you know, you can't do ministry in a body that's not at its optimal performance. You know, you don't have to be 100%, but you need to make sure that your body is in position to make sure that, you know, it's where it needs to be in order for you to do ministry. Kind of talk about that a little bit, Rochele, as well. Just a little nugget of your detox.
Okay. I have a detoxification program, 7-day and a 21-day. But on my 7-day program, you actually eat. You get to eat some yummy food and you lose weight and you detoxify your digestive system, which helps you to release the fat, helps to elevate the metabolistic abilities in your liver, and you're not starving yourself, and you will lose weight. Because I have a secret in there that if you're suffering with belly bloat, or a little bit more around your midsection than you want, then ladies, you need to check this out, because the one little goodie I have in there, after day 3, all that belly bloat is gone and you start burning fat rapidly.
All right. I'm going to put her link out on the page, guys, so you can go and check it out. Well, Rochele, thank you so much. We love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. And as we always say at the end of the show, let's talk. Good night, everybody. Good night, Rochele.
Thank you. Love you.